Today we're going to have a talk about mainly the US election and what went wrong there. There might be some debates and arguments. Where does blame get apportioned, and has anything actually gone wrong? And what does it actually mean for the 2024 presidential election race? Really, you don't think Trump could win against a Democratic candidate?
A week ago, I had, over the last month, I had started to warm up to think that he could. But I think in light of what we've seen, that there is a reasonably strong pattern that the more a candidate was associated with Trump, publicly associated, the more their vote underperformed.
If the Conservative movement wants to fix the major issues with the country, and there are some pretty significant problems that are going on because of socialist rule, let's call it that. If they want to get into power again, they might need to think about, well, what's the biggest fights worth fighting for the stability of the nation as a whole, for the security of the nation, to stop us turning into a socialist dictatorship, and focus on them, because you're going to, like, there's a lot of bigger problems that have to be sorted out first if Republicans, for instance, are going to take back the nation and stop people falling into a complete and utter financial and energy crisis, or ending up in a global conflict, which are the things that are currently scratching at the door of America, and trying to fight divisive, and I'm talking about historically divisive, things that haven't really been answered in 1,000 years. Those sorts of culture wars are things you do when you're comfortable in leadership, not things you do when there are massive and catastrophic economic problems to sort out, which is what the Republicans have now. But I'd like to hear John's views on DeSantis, because there were some very interesting articles that I read about how he will be stopped from getting any further by Republicans who think it's their turn to rule now that Trump's not there. And whether or not you think this wave of energy that's going on is actually going to meet a bit of a brick wall.
Dave, you are correct to call DeSantis' victory decisive. It was extraordinary. Okay, now Florida has been the most celebrated swing state in America this century. Now, DeSantis has gone and won it 60-40. This is an extraordinary result, and Florida has, under DeSantis, has become the third most populous state in America, so it's a very important state. Now, a week ago, I would have said, I love DeSantis, I want him to be the president, but not yet, sir. Okay, now I thought, look, he's young, okay, but given that he was the only one that really did brilliantly, the only Republican that did brilliantly, I think he is clearly, on the betting markets, he is clearly the favourite, not only to be the Republican nominee, but also the next president of the United States.
Part of Trump's problem was that there was this huge net around the presidency at the moment in politics, where there's a lot of bureaucracies and shadowy people who are actually in control of government. We have the same problem here in Australia. And Trump was one of the first presidents to try and actually dismantle that web of control over decisions and over government. And so because he struggled so much, like actually against the whole forces of these people came down upon him and tried to get rid of him. Now, the next Republican president who tries will have the same problem as Trump, because Trump didn't get rid of this bureaucratic control over America. He just basically showed that it existed. He proved to the point that it was there, and that they'll stop at nothing to get rid of somebody who actually acts in the interests of the people. So whoever makes it to the presidency next time, whether that's Ron DeSantis or whether that's somebody else, if they try the same thing as Trump, they will face the same problems as Trump. And is there any advice on how they can handle that differently? Because obviously the forces are going to amass against them to try and protect their entrenched positions.
I hope you're enjoying this conversation. You know what? We have to fight back against the censorship of big tech. Would you like to help? You can do that now by heading over to the website goodsource.news. We're going to end the conversation here on this channel because we need to make sure that we're independent and not reliant on big tech. Head over to the website goodsource.news right now for the rest of this great video.